What is going on, everybody? Getting Excel here. Very, very exciting moment in Marvel Strike Force. We're going to be taking a look at the blog post, but think about what it symbolizes. When we think about the previous day's blog post, I got a bunch of notes here. When we think about the previous day's blog post, the one that came out today, what are we seeing when it comes to the teams that Marvel Strike Force is putting out? I mean, in reality, going back to the Hellfire Club here, we have teams that seem to be being created that you can break pieces off and use them where you want. You have teams that now are not necessarily included in a normal pathway, but will strengthen your roster. So all this is leading to not only just the concept of theory crafting, but we're definitely getting into an area of player choice when it comes to Marvel Strike Force. And that is huge, right? You have more flexibility in the type of roster, the type of characters that you want to invest in. And in so doing, right, you bend the game the way that you want it. So let's talk a little bit about the blog post for today. We'll be highlighting some key points, and then we want to take a look at our roster, as well as just some other things that have come up in thinking about this material. So let's go ahead and get into the blog post, Masterminds of Mayhem. So we're talking about the brand new team that's announced, the Insidious Six. So we already saw the video today by Dorky Dad. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. He's talking about Scorpion's kit and some of the things that he's going to be able to do. He has exclusive content on that character. So be sure to tune in to that to really help us to start thinking about how this character might indeed be used. We're talking about the Insidious Six. They've mastered the art of chaos, and now they're unleashing it on new battlefields. Introducing the Insidious Six, a ruthless lineup of Spider-Man's most dangerous foes, including one villain who once stole Peter Parker's body. Built to dominate tech raid lanes, this squad is also a theory crafter's dream. The core roster features superior Spider-Man, Scorpion, and Hobgoblin, the only characters with the exclusive Insidious Six trait. The final two spots, that's where you come in. Fill them with your choice of Sinister Six or Superior Six members. While Vulture and Shocker enjoy special bonuses alongside these new characters, the true power lies in your ability to experiment and assemble the ultimate criminal crew. Now, what does that mean? Right? They're insinuating that we get to do some theory crafting, that we can plug and play this team. How so? Well, they're claiming that there is going to be an instant impact in raids, war, and Cosmic Crucible. The Insidious Six squad is built for the tech lanes of the new Annihilation raid, but each character can improve an existing squad in other game modes. Unleash the Insidious Six in Alliance War as a full squad and take down some of the powerful raid squads that lurk in helicarrier halls. Let's just take a point right there. So the full team that's been talked about. So the Insidious Six plus Vulture, Shocker. They're designed to be an Alliance War team in addition to a raid team that's going to take down, it says, some of the powerful raid squads. So we know we invest heavily in our raid teams. Those eventually become Alliance War teams, Alliance War defense teams, just because we put such heavy investment and the team is designed to work together. They're usually not the strongest war defenses that you'll face. So perhaps with some adjustment, not using that 5, but with some other adjustment, we'll be able to punch through some stronger teams. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Scorpion possesses the Infestation trait, allowing you to upgrade this war defense squad to shore up your helicarrier. Now, why would you do that? Why would you invest in the Infestation team? Well, if the team is getting a stat bump, as we've no doubt, right? We already know the team is getting a stat bump that forces an arms race. For most of us, we probably won't invest in the team, but people that do will create a stronger Infestation team, widening the gap between the counters that we currently use and the way the team will work in the future. So if we don't put any effort into our counters, we might fall behind as far as the defensive side of war. I wouldn't do anything yet. I wouldn't invest in anything yet. We'll have to see how it goes. But addition of a new character plus bumping up the stats of the existing characters, again, it makes the gap wider. And if we're not going to close that gap, that might cause a difference to us who care about Alliance war. We'll have to see. Superior Spider-Man's high speed make him a great upgrade for the Superior 6 Cosmic Crucible Squad. Again, where would we put this character? How does he even work? We don't even know what the kit looks like yet. We don't know how he works, but they're building teams now and characters now that have members that you can kind of piece out and use in different areas of the game. So the Superior Spider-Man, what's going to happen when we plug him in to the Superior 6? Does it make that team a little bit better, right? Sizably better? Does it make them jump? By plugging in other characters, can we manipulate the type of team that we're building? Hopefully that's the case. Hobgoblin adds more explosive dimension and brings control to the Insidious 6. Again, we don't know what those characters look like, what they're able to do. We're going to have to find out in the coming days. Theory crafting with the Sinister 6. These 3 new characters bring the total number of Sinister 6 to 15 characters. So while Shocker and Vulture easily slide into these teams, there's going to be opportunities where you find yourself wanting another controller like Mysterio or Lizard as your protector. Okay. So these are what they've mentioned. Mysterio, we know, right? He got a rework. It kind of was a little more than they bargained for, but they kept it in the game. Mysterio's still good. We're still using him. He didn't get a stat boost, but people still use him because he's a good character. Same for Lizard, right? People still use him because he's a good character. And there's other characters that have the Sinister 6 tag, maybe Superior 6 members that we might pop in for different effect. Green Goblin Classic, Craven, right? We'll just have to see how it goes and what people come up with in the coming days. Scorpion, Corrosive Bleed. Leave a stinging impression with this Insidious 6 and Infestation Brawler. Apply Bleed to all enemies on turn and with multiple abilities. And then eat away at enemy positive effect duration whenever they take damage from Bleed. So once again, if we haven't taken a minute yet to look and see, Dorky Dad has indeed have a video out that talks about Scorpion's kit. There's a lot of bleed there, and it's an exclusive reveal on his part. So I encourage you to check that out, and we can start thinking about how this character might be incorporated into our squad. Hobgoblin, Negative Effect Bomber. Carpet bomb the battlefield with explosive attacks. Flip positive effects. Apply random negative effects that'll put a smile. Put a smile on that face. Put a smile on Hobgoblin's face. What does he do? Don't know yet. We'll have to see when somebody reveals it. Superior Spider-Man Speedy Support. So this is 3 references with his superior speed. Superior Spider-Man supplies his squad's machinations with heals whenever they attack an enemy with a negative effect, ability, energy, and positive effects. So they're touting that he's a fast character. How fast? I don't know. Haven't seen him. Don't know what the stats are. Somebody's going to be revealing that later on. So we have this bleed mechanic with Scorpion, right? So the bleed team, we remember with Null, people were into that. So maybe that's where they got the idea here for Scorpion. Lots of bleeds. They're talking about the speed and Superior Spider-Man, negative effects and control with the Hobgoblin. Curious to see how that's going to go. Who are they updating? Well, they're updating the Vulture, as they said. So we got increase to all his base stats, health and damage especially, right? He can take a hit. He can hand out some damage, right? We won't go over all his abilities. We'll just focus on the new adjustments. So on spawn, we're talking about the Vulture. We got that speed bar. They added the 2 Insidious 6 allies. That's very important. 2 Insidious 6 allies, right? Fill speed bar for Shocker and all Insidious 6 allies by 10%. If he has 2 Insidious 6 allies. So Vulture does not have the Insidious 6 tag, meaning if you have 2 more members. So if we popped out Scorpion and use just the other two, this kicks in. That's the way I understand it on spawn here. This kicks in. That's the way I understand it. Right? That's the way I understand it. So you could pop Scorpion out, put him on infestation. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do, but people that have bigger, stronger rosters, right? So this is where the flexibility comes in. People that are spending that money or that go hard in a certain game mode, this is going to give them that flexibility. It's going to speed up Shocker. We know that Shocker is going to assist with the rest of the team. If we know Shocker's kit, we'll take a look at it later. But this is something they continue to echo, right? So 2 superior 6 allies, right? After all characters have spawned at the start of the match, if this character has 2 superior 6 allies, so we'll have to use 2 from that. You would have to use 2 Insidious members, 2 more superior members, and then Vulture to get that to click in. It's a lot of speed at your disposal, right? You're going to apply speed up to yourself, and then you would clear speed up on the offensive side, right? If you're offense from the opposing team and give them slow, that gives you a significant speed advantage. But to do that, you got to have 2 Insidious, 2 superior, plus Vulture. All right, in Rage, you're going to fill the speed bar for Shocker and other Insidious 6 members. So that's just raid text. Normally, it's not going to apply, but it is something to keep in mind if we are doing something that have rules that allow you to have raid rules active. So Danger Room, sometimes Crucible, and just other random game modes that we might use. Once again, we have the 2 Insidious 6 allies. It's going to activate our drain, so that's going to give you your healing. Most of the time, that's going to come into effect in the raids, but just be mindful. We might use it in other areas as well. Shocker. Update the stats. They're putting him back in the game. His special, Sonic Dissidence. It's going to give an ability energy. Once again, 2 superior 6 or, doesn't say and, or Insidious 6 allies. Regenerate ability energy for all Sinister 6 allies. That's going to help us out in the raids, but something to be mindful of just in other, right? That's, if we saw the kit so far for Scorpion, his ultimate, I think, starts at 2-5. I think 2 out of 5. So this will help give him ability energy so that he can quickly get into that ultimate ability. You're giving offense up to the entire team, filling the speed bar for this character, for Shocker, by 80%. Man. Then he's going to call a Sinister 6 and an Insidious 6 to attack the target. So I'm curious to see when these other characters are revealed, what their abilities are like. Right? Can we get some crazy striker combos? Right? Can we get some insane striker combos going on? We'll have to see. Ultimate Subsonic Blast. So what's added here is the Insidious 6 tag. He's going to reduce the speed bar when he does that ultimate. So we're familiar with that with Shocker as he bounces around, reducing speed bar. So his speed bar goes up. Vulture's giving speed. This guy's reducing speed. Could be interesting. Passive, Vibro Shock on spawn. So all this is just getting rolled into this text down here. On spawn, offense up for the team. In war, his speed bar is going up by 75%. Or excuse me, no. To a random Sinister 6 protector. Right now, the only Sinister 6 protector that we know is Lizard. Right? Is Lizard. I can't remember if Dorky said that Scorpion's a protector or not. I don't remember. But this would make that individual go relatively quickly. So if Scorpion's a protector and he's getting that ability energy, right? That can change the battle very, very quickly. And he's giving ability energy to the team and raid. So this is how we're going to be doing the sim. Swarm is getting his stats increased on the infestation team, right? He's getting more charges just to make it so he doesn't start destroying himself early. I believe that's the reason why he's getting more charges. Big time Spider-Man stats going up. Big time Spider-Man, obviously he's on the infestation team, but a lot of people have used him plug and play in a lot of different game modes because he's just a good character, right? Reaching back to bring him up. I'm not saying you should do that, but the flexibility that some people are going to have if they spend a little bit more money Or if they're just going to invest in one or two extra characters, he might be one of those individuals. So all these base stats are getting rolled in. War defense, speed bar generated by any controller enemy is reduced by 50%. So that's essentially just rolling all this other stuff into that. Yellow Jacket, stats are going up. One of the things about him is he hits hard. He's still going to be hitting hard. Black Widow, stats are going up. That's huge. That's huge. Black Widow is a character that people have used just for her speed up ability. Speed up and stun, right? She's got to speed up and stun relatively quickly. People have used her just for that purpose. Forget the infestation team. People have used her just for that purpose. So this makes her viable again, especially for people that are going to be coming into the game brand new. People are going to be coming in the game brand new. That makes Black Widow a viable character. Ant-Man stat increases, and that's it for the blog itself. Now we want to think about the application of the material, right? We want to think about the application of what we just learned. Give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and open up my game because we want to look at some of these teams that are going to be affected. Some of these teams, some of these characters, not just from this blog, but in conjunction with what we saw the other day, right? In conjunction with what we saw the other day with the Secret Warriors. So just think about what's going on right now, okay? Just think about what's going on right now. So we already know about Vulture and Shocker, right? Vulture and Shocker. I haven't put any extra power into them yet. This is just, well, I did power up Shocker. For Vulture, this is just where I had him, right? Because people were using him. We were using him, right? We were using him. I didn't put any more power into any the other characters, right? Green Goblin Classic, he might still be viable. I'm curious to see what Hobgoblin's going to do. If they both are doing something similar, can you imagine the rewind, right? The speed rewind. Hobgoblin has something to do with a bunch of negative effects. We'll have to see. It could be interesting, man. We talked about Lizard as a protector. Mysterio, right? Mysterio's a good character. I haven't powered him up, but if you're a fan of Alliance War, right, I was using him right here with this power. He's still working. If I power him up a little more, he'll be a little bit more robust, but he's still working just like this for what we're trying to get him to do, because you're not going to go after him first, especially with the new characters, right? You're going to have to go after some of those other new characters first. And that allows Mysterio to just do what he wants to do. Now, I'm not saying power these characters up. I'm just saying that it starts giving us options. It starts allowing us to think, like, which of these characters could we still use as we go about the game? Spider Slayer, I don't use a whole lot. Craven, we plug him in for certain war offense, right? When we're going after certain defenses, we plug Craven in, right? Dr. Octopus, he's a legendary character. I don't encourage newer people to go after him, but we'll have to see. Don't power him up, but maybe it gives him viability as newer people are coming into the game. We got Audrey. We got Audrey joining in the chat. What's up, my guy? We are indeed doing well. We are getting hyped for the Insidious 6. The Insidious 6. The rest of the characters here, right? Green Goblin, Electro, Rhino. I don't think they're going to have any value. Electro would be cool, but she needs high stats to do damage, and they didn't touch her. So her stats, without that, she needs high stats to do damage. But who knows what's going to happen down the line. Now, it wasn't only that, but they talked about, again, the other day, Yo-Yo, Domino, Quake, and Negasonic for the Secret Warriors team. Okay? So again, the Secret Warriors team and the Infestation team are not part of the Conquerors, right? We don't need them to get Blastar. We don't need them to get Blastar. So they're kind of extra in a sense. They're extra in a sense. And that's interesting, right? The people who are going to benefit from that, again, are people who are obviously are spenders, because you're going to have 2 extra teams that you can use to do stuff. Individuals, if we're not spending, but we enjoy a certain game mode, We have the ability to go after characters that help us to increase our potency in that game mode, right? And some of these characters have crossover value. For example, back in the day, man, if whoever has been around, if you've been around for a while, man, Quake and Black Widow used to be a dangerous duo because everything Quake does slows, everything Black Widow gives you speed. So that used to be a difficult 1-2 punch, man. So again, these might be teams or characters that at least when people are coming into the game as new people, you can recommend them. They can build those characters and have success as they're building their roster. And they'll be characters that people can use, right? Another interesting thing, right? Let's look at Negasonic here. Be mindful, she was on the X-Force team, as was Domino. Cable is still potent, right? Cable is still potent with the Immortal X-Men, right? And we're told that if you got Rachel Summers, Cable doesn't get his speed bonus. Okay, that's fine. Perhaps, again, I'm not telling people to do this. I'm not telling people to do this, but individuals that have powered up their roster, you might have another team you can get some power out of. Deadpool, I know he's not the strongest. X-23, she got put over with Weapon X last year, maybe longer. But maybe the other three characters are enough to make something happen, to give you some type of counter for a mid-tier team. I don't know. Or maybe on defense, they can do something. I don't know. These are just questions and things that people are going to have and things that we're going to test out. And that's what's cool about the game right now. That's what's cool about the game. The last couple of teams that have came out have characters that can be used in multiple situations. We'll have to see what the best bet is. We'll have to see where characters can be used in what game mode they'll have the most success in. Audrey said he's having a good time. Another group to build and chase. You better believe it, man. Another group to build and chase. Now, I just had a few more notes here. Just a couple things that I wanted to highlight. Okay. A couple things we wanted to highlight. So again, Black Widow herself. She is a nostalgic character, right? A lot of people come and play Marvel Strike Force because they saw the movie. So she's a character that comes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so people will come and they will want to, build those characters, the Wave 1 Avengers, let's say, because they're familiar with those characters. Black Widow getting an increase in stats gives them something to use, characters that will indeed help their account. And that's good. As we already talked about in the past, she's shown a lot of potential as a plug and play character as it is. So if that continues to be the case, that's great. That's what we want. All right. Roster flexibility is coming back. So again, in the not the distant past, in the fairly recent past, we had a lot of teams that were made for a specific game mode and they do well in that game mode. They don't do much anywhere else. That kind of gets old, that gets stale. I understand the reason for it. They needed to kind of get the meta under control. But as I've been trying to say a little bit more now, right? I agreed with that wholeheartedly. I thought that was indeed the right way to go. But as it's gone on, right? I thought it was something they were going to be able to fix in a matter of months. But since that's not the case, you should just go ahead and hand the reins over to people who want to get deep and get into the weeds and get the theory crafting going and reward them. So building teams that can be broken apart and used for other purposes, I think that's important, right? I think that's important. Helps people stay interested in the game. And so if they give people more opportunities to do that, I think that's better, right? I think that's better. Another thing, a point that I forgot to mention, we have the Undying team coming, right? There'll be a new Undying member in Kestrel at some point, right? I'm not really down with the zombies, but that's another team that people will have. And if they haven't been powering them up, it's an opportunity to do that as well. We don't have our Battle World team, as far as I know, being mentioned yet. So we got the Insidious 6, We talked about the secret warriors who are not part of the conquerors, so we don't need to have them. Infestation is just getting a bump. We don't have to have them. So those two teams can't be the Battle World team. So that team is still coming. That team is still coming. So there's a lot of characters that could get some help. A lot. I don't think the average player is going to have enough resources to power them up. I don't think the average player is going to have enough resources to power them up. So spenders are going to have an advantage in the sense, like a lot of these characters, they might already even have built just because. And then if they want to put a little extra in because they haven't had them built, they can do that. And those of us, again, more on the free to play side, if we have a lane of the game we really enjoy, it gives us the opportunity to pivot into that lane to make things better for us. Point number 3, long-term return on investment versus short-term power. Okay, so that's where, when we talk about the secret value, that's where the secret value comes in. We have to each think about what we want. And since they gave the characters a stat bump, they'll be good for a minute. They did this, I think they did this last year to an extent with the infestation, a little bit. It seems like they're leaning into that again. If we didn't build it, if we're not building it higher because we don't value war defense, that's fine. But we want to make sure we have something on the offensive side that's going to deal with that, which we probably do. But we'll have a hole in our defense. So we got Jim Zingo, who's weighing in. He says, I'll be skipping Secret Warriors, except Knight Rider. He'll go to Gear 20. My guy, I think a lot of people might feel what you're saying. They might feel what you're saying. Audrey says, I still struggle powering up one character, let alone a group of characters, one at a time. One at a time. And I'm happy about that because obviously I'm not mad. I'm not happy about another Ghost Rider. That's just me, right? We got enough ghosts. So we got a new Ghost Rider. I'm not happy about that. But since he's not required necessarily, as far as we know, then I think that makes that okay. All right. Hidden synergies. So we'll be looking for that. Again, I mentioned Black Widow. She was valued in the past just because she had speed. She's a fast character, speeds up a team, and could stun very quickly. Very quickly. So we might find that there are other characters, especially as we get into this Sinister Six, Superior Six, Insidious Six. We might find that there are other groupings of characters that we hadn't really thought of that we can use for other game modes, make maybe a superpowered offense team, a superpowered defense team, something to tunnel down. Something, right? This is the good part of the game when people start thinking about these things and how they can be of value, right? Just little things like, again, Scorpion having all those bleeds, as Dorky Dad brought up. Make sure you check that video out. He's got exclusive content there. Scorpion's kit, having those bleeds, and then you have somebody who can spread the bleeds. So like Hela comes to mind a lot. Rachel Summers is spreading a lot of stuff. We'll have to see, right? What people come up with. Point number 5. We got 2 more points. Point number 5, the psychology of choice, right? So that really leans into the player's mindset. Okay. So this isn't just simply about reworks. Like, it's cool to have the reworks in themselves, right? Just in general, it's cool to have the reworks. But what it does, once again, is it gives us the opportunity to sit down and think and build teams based on what we're trying to do, right? And they're going to start looking different. It means people's roster, in some respect, will start looking different. You always want the core roster to be the same. The core roster, you want that to be the same. You don't want that to get too wild and out of hand. But the ability for people to branch off is good. Okay. So I used to play, talked about it a lot around here. Talk about it a lot. I used to play, no, not Marvel Champions. Still play Champions on occasion. But I used to play Hero Clicks. That was it. I used to play Hero Clicks. And if you play it now, if you play Hero Clicks now, you find that people, longtime players, they don't like it. They're not playing. They're not playing anymore because the game is too easy now. They're not playing that game anymore because the game is way too easy now. Right? They made adjustments for new people to come in, which is good. That's what you want. But they went, in that case, I think they went a little bit too far. So Marvel Strike Force, they seem to be doing a good job moving around. So they made a lot of adjustments a while ago for the new player experience. We have this command center now. All the stuff is just kind of stuff you can just do. You just get rewarded for playing the game. So now we got to go back to the elder game players and give them something to do. And theory crafting is what people want, right? When you have all these chess pieces, you want to figure out cool and interesting ways to use them, right? So in contrast with past updates, that's point number 6, right? This is why this is different. So normally we get teams that just fill gaps, right? There's a problem, they sell a solution, which is fine. That's how it goes. But with these grouping of reworks that we just had with the last couple of teams, it's kind of feels a little bit different, right? Now you have things that can help open doors, as they say. Maybe you missed something. Maybe you missed a character. Maybe you were blocked from participating in certain content because the old team just isn't worth investing in, right? We saw the other day, I stopped on my new account going up on the Doom campaign, Doom campaign, because you needed Fantastic Four. And in the past, Fantastic Four are not good. Now we got a new Fantastic Four team, so I can do that. Spider-Verse characters sometimes are used as a block for certain legendary characters. We'll have more of those. Villains, newer players need those. You got them in the form of the Insidious 6, as well as there is a Superior 6 node or two as you come up in the normal campaign, I believe. So again, you'll have newer players will have that. Black Widow for Avengers. Again, you'll feel comfortable at least building one Avenger in the sense you have the Black Widow. You can get through those portions of the game. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Big Positive Geek, what's up, man? What's up? What's up? We just went over the blog post. Concluding thoughts here is that I'm interested to see what happens in the game. Typically, now we're in August. I don't know what's going to happen. We still need a Battle World team. Insidious 6 is coming next. Then these other reworks. We still need a Battle World team. And typically, the one today, I guess you didn't see. It's the one, the Envoy exclusive. The one today talking about the Insidious 6. So we're just concluding talking about that. And then Dorky Dad has the exclusive on Scorpion. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. But as we close, we're getting to the end of the year. And in the past, I don't know if it'll still be the case. In the past, the last couple months, like November, December, have kind of been a bunch of characters that are mostly reworks, and the teams are kind of like we got with the Immortal X-Men, Uncanny Avengers, and Mighty Avengers, right? So that's 3 teams with a big mix of characters, 2 new characters, and a big mix of other reworked characters. So that's kind of something that they've been doing over the last couple of years. So if that's the case again, it means we're going to have more reworks in a couple of months. And somewhere in there, we need a Battle World team. And boom, right off the bat, you're 100% right. In January, they came right swinging. January, 3 teams, 2 were new teams. January was the 3 teams. I'm confusing myself with the 2 new characters. Okay. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. See what happens. But hey, that's what I got. I want to know what you think. Make sure you check out Dorky Dad's video if you haven't already. He's the only one that's got the intel on Scorpion. And then we can start thinking about how this team is going to work. We'll have to see. I didn't get one. I didn't get an exclusive. So I'll have to see who's got the rest of the information on the rest of the team as it comes out. Defense recommendation for Arena. 21 spots while I slept. In the top 10, bro. I don't know. Everything's beatable. Right now, I think it's just about power, man. It depends on where you are in the game right now. Everything's mostly just about power. So if you have your Fantastic Four, that, the newer 3, so Invisible Woman, Ooh, that's the question. You got Professor X. That's a line in the sand right there, man. Got him or you don't. Got him or you don't. Like BPG said, nothing really holds. So that's just a line in the sand. If you got him, don't got him. So I don't have him either. So that's the thing. So I'm just going with yeah, he's 100% on, nothing will hold. So it's just right now, it's just about activity, just getting in and making your defense, I guess, less appealing. So you're like big positive geek was showing me last time we spoke, having those three Fantastic Four MCU members, Null and Odin, is something that's easily beaten with older characters. So if we can maybe tweak that a little bit, I don't know, right? If you got Mephisto or something like that, who's really strong, just making it look different so it's not the most easy pickings. That's all. That's all I got. That's all I got. Otherwise, it's just straight participation, man. It's just a grind, climbing up as high as you can every day, and hopefully other people get tired and don't do it. That's what I got. But hey, let me know what you think. Comments, go ahead and drop them in there. Drop them in the chat. Drop them in the comments after the video. Check out the Marvel Strike Force Discord. They're still taking votes on another grouping of Hellfire outfits. And they said, man, if they can get Marvel to give us a thumbs up, they're going to put one or two of those in the game. So vote for the one that you want. If that's something that you're into, I like it. I like comics. Get the counting corner going. Count up 5 spots and then dip out, man. You know, nothing big. So BPG says he's running Fantastic Four MCU, 3-piece, Apocalypse, and Odin. So again, just making it look different. It's less desirable. People might think twice. They might hit the person with the easier look, the look that people are used to, instead of hitting you. That's the strategy. But you guys be cool. Take care of yourself and your family. It stopped raining. So I think I'm finally gonna be able to get outside. Gotta get the jog in. Take it easy, y'all. Peace.